Which power knife am I using?
The pink one, behind you. Hey, how are you? This is the mandatory pit stop when you're on your way to Tangaroa for a dive. Look, there's Ying.
Hello. Long time no see.
Well, we're quite fortunate actually. We've just had a fella in a white van pass by before we get in there. He says that the viz is good. And looking out there, it's nice and flat. It's looking good. Hopefully we're going to have a good dive today. Oh, by the way, the channel's actually got a join option now as well. So if you want to join, it costs you $12 a year. You know, $1 a month. I made it as cheap as I possibly can. So you get early access to the videos, plus a few other little perks. So if you're interested in joining, that really helps me out. You know, costs a bit of money to make this drive, so if you choose to support the channel, you're helping me out.
Welcome again back to the ocean. It is great to see you here. See, I copied someone. That's one of my favorite YouTube creators says that. See if you can tell me who that is. So we're launching again here at Wainui. You're going to see a lot of nice diving in this video. You're going to see some lovely clear water, some blue water, a little bit of spearfishing. You're going to see some blue moki, some Pauas. You're also going to see some things going wrong. So this is a two-part video series. This one is part 1 and part 2 in this video. You're going to see some things going wrong, and it's one of these videos you can really learn from. You can sort of have a think about it and think about what you're doing, and you know, are you making the right decisions? It is very much like a thing after you have an experience like what we had on this trip. You think about, well, what went right and what went wrong, and you know, how can we stop those things from going wrong from happening again in the future? So there's some real lessons learned in this on this outing.
You'll probably find once you actually get in the water, it wouldn't surprise me if you can actually see the bottom.
Yeah.
The sound of sea is now in 9 meters now.
There's a very short list of people who actually get to come out on the boat with me, and a lot of it is to do with space. This boat and the previous boat that I've had are very small, there's limited space. So not having enough space on the boat was one major problem that we had here. The other problem was the anchoring position. It really was not a good place to anchor the boat.
Need some lube.
Huh? I already got some.
Oh yeah. Feels so strange saying that to a woman, hey?
I'm not looking. Which power knife am I using?
The pink one, behind you.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. So here in Whew. On the king tide, on the low tide. Okay, here it goes.
after anchoring the boat, we're getting ready for the dive, and the water's looking very nice, very blue, very clear. Now, the reason that the anchoring position was not ideal was that we were a wee bit too far away from where the Pauas were, and we've got a mix of experience on the boat. We've got Chris with the most experience, me with a wee bit less than Chris, and Ying, and she's pretty new and she's pretty very much a beginner still. It was one of the lessons learned on this trip. I really hope I don't make this mistake again, anchoring in this water. We anchored right here in 9 meters of water, so it was quite a nice little deep spot. It's a bit deeper than what I usually dive in. I jump in the water and I have a look. So it's nice for Chris, and it's a nice change for me. Bit of a struggle for Ying though. So yeah, you've really got to think about, what are the dive capabilities of the, least experienced person, the newest person on your trip. And diving down here, I can see this blue moki, and I'm wanting to have a look at it and thinking, is that blue moki legal to shoot? And I'm having a look and dive down and sort of make the decision no, because your dive mask really amplifies everything underwater. So decided not to take a shot at that. And then coming back up, I can see all of this yellow-eyed mullet here, just right up in the shallows, the wee yellow-eyed mullet. And I'm also having a look at the structure under the water here, because I've never dived this spot before, but we've got these big cliffs here, but this is what Banks Peninsula is like. We've got a lot of cliffs, a lot of coastal erosion, so we've got these huge big boulders here. This is 6 or 7 meters of water here, and it's not really the type of underwater structure that I was expecting, not really what I was wanting to see, not what I was expecting to see. And it doesn't really become the small rocks and small boulders until you get up into the shallows. And I see another blue moki down there, and I'm looking at the spear gun, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to probably take a shot at this one and have a wee look at it. And I was looking at the spear gun trying to decide, is this one legal? I think it probably was legal, but I missed the shot. I think unfortunately the frame of mind that I was in, I was still thinking about Ying. I was still thinking about looking after the newest person in our group of divers, so I wasn't really fully focused on making a good shot. So I start to feel a little bit frustrated, and I think, well, I have to shoot something. I don't know whether I'm going to have a chance to shoot anything at all. So I see a wrasse here, so I take a shot at the wrasse. And I'm using my roller gun, and I can see that the wrasse has had the spear go right through its guts, and then it's the spear sort of tangled up on itself a bit. It's a pretty overpowered shot just for a small fish. It's really just a medium-sized wrasse, and I have to fumble around quite a bit with actually just getting the spear back out. Literally, as I was in the water taking the spear out of this wrasse, because the spear had gone straight through it, I was thinking to myself, you know what, for these small reef fish that I shoot, this powerful roller gun is just a wee bit too much. So I was already planning, as I was pulling the spear out of the fish, I was already planning in my mind, okay, I'm going to turn this gun back into a regular single rubber gun again and not a roller gun. Because for these little reef fish, this gun is just a bit overpowered. So it's time to put the wrasse into the bag, and this catch bag with this homemade metal frame on it, this is the last you're ever going to see of it, because in part 2 of this video series, you're going to see that bag disappear. And I'm looking out for Ying, and she's moving towards the Pauas and starting to uplift them and have a look at them. So I swim past Ying and I have a look and I find some more Pauas, and I put the spear gun down, and it's like, okay, now we've found them. Let's start pulling some of them up and having a wee look. And then I sort of realised to myself, oh, you know what? It's actually pretty shallow here. And oh geez, these swells are a bit strong. Whoa. Over the next 2 minutes of video, I'm not going to edit it too much because I really want to I want you to see how this could have gone a lot more wrong than what it did, and thank goodness that it wasn't any worse than what it was. Ying's about to lose the mask.
Oh. 休息一下. You okay? 行不行?
I got two, but they are too small.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep looking around. The Pauas around these big kelp here.
Okay.
They like this stuff. So you look around these stuff. So have a rest. Yeah, go up onto the rocks and have a rest. Where's your mask? Where's your mask?
Somewhere here.
Luckily the mask wasn't too far away. I was able to retrieve it fairly quickly, and it had a bright coloured snorkel, so this is a good reason why you want to use a bright coloured snorkel.
Have a rest. Put it back on your head. Put it back on your head or you're going to lose it again.
Okay.
Once you put it back on, don't take it off.
Okay.
There's actually quite a lot of big Pauas in here. I just found them.
Yeah.
So have a rest, put it back on, and when you're ready, come back out.
Wait.
Get ready. Hold on. Yeah, have a rest, and when you're ready, come back up.
Okay, so just real quickly, why was this so shallow? Why was this so much current, so much waves coming in? This was a little bit of poor planning on my part because this was the king low tide. So the water is the absolute lowest, which meant that the Pauas are all in a very shallow area, but it also meant that when the swells are coming in, we're just getting hammered by the swells. So what on the surface appears to be a good time to go shallow water diving, you know, looking for Paua, actually is really difficult and potentially disastrous. So a king low tide is not necessarily the best time to go Paua diving. So after uplifting all 5 Pauas, it's time to have a wee look, and we're going to slowly make our way back to the boat. I see a butterfish down there. Again, I'm still not really in an ideal frame of mind for properly hunting after the events that have just happened, after what's just happened. I can see Chris starting to swim back, and we're also swimming back towards the boat, so it's like, okay, we're about to move on to the next chapter of this rather disastrous trip, and you're going to see more of that in part 2, so stay tuned for part 2, where you're going to see even more things go wrong, and some more lessons learned.